when you're trying to reach out to other people, it's very difficult, especially with the indoctrination of fear spread under the circumstances with COVID. But there's a lot of other things that you can get their attention on. We have a prime minister who has funded terrorism. We've got a minister of defense who lied on his resume in order to get his job. We've got a minister of finance who's committed inside trading and is now stealing from children under the guise and blanket of charities. Okay, we've got an ex-minister of immigration who tried to permit the practice of female genital mutilation in Canada. All of these things you can watch happen and be confronted in the House of Commons. So we'll speak more about that, and I'll post lots of stuff on Facebook, including the links for you guys to verify the information. These are conversation starters, folks, and they're very important. And with that, Vlad Sobolev.
Happy Saturday, beautiful people! Okay, I'll have to go pretty fast because I think this thing will die in a second now. Quickly, the important thing, we have new flyers made up. This is a version number 3. Grateful to 6 people, including myself, spent about 40 hours combined making these guys. Everything redesigned, the front page, the back page. We have 15,000 printed for this weekend to distribute across Ontario. The previous versions, we printed 60,000 and distributed across Ontario, guys. So this stuff works. It's free, you can get it, and you can benefit from everything that we said here. So take the time, both sides are redesigned, I'm not going to talk about it. It's also on our website, so please upload from the website and then you can benefit from the information. So, what can I say? We have 8 locations happening this weekend on the Hugs of a Mask Reload organization present across Canada. Go to Hugs of a Mask events, you'll see the time and the location. We are making them universal for a reason, okay? The messaging is the same, the flyers are the same, the only thing is different is either Saturday or Sunday, and the times pretty much all of them is from 12 to 4. And the idea is to come in a social gathering. We still have to say it's a protest, otherwise they're not going to let us do it, right? But at the same time, we want to bring the social gathering. If you're inviting new people, don't tell them they come into the protest. Tell them they come into social gathering to connect with other like-minded, awake individuals, right? They don't have to protest, they don't have to hold a sign and yell and stuff like that, right? The people that come and want to do it, fantastic. And you connect to those people, you build a relationship, and we strongly recommend to do the activist work during the week, because that's where you're going to have a real impact. And this is an honest question I want to ask of you guys. Why are you here today? Are you here today to build connections and relationship? And if it's yes, that's great. Acknowledge that, right? Second thing, are you here to make an impact, right? Great, acknowledge that. Now, the honest question to ask yourself, how much impact are you actually able to create just by being here? Rather than being out in public and educating the people in your community on a daily basis throughout the week. Right. I really want you to ask the honest question, okay? And I ask that question myself first before I ask you guys, right? So for us to be really impactful and create the real change in the community, coming here and marching is not enough. It's not enough, okay? We're doing it here because we're making a change, and that's great, but again, I just want to empower you guys to take actions during the week, okay? You need to have those meaningful conversations. You need to get uncomfortable enough times. I'm not asking you to do it every day. Every day is different, right? Your best is different day to day, so don't be hard on yourself if on Monday necessarily you don't feel like it, but just do your best. Talk to one person. Think about this. If all you do is you talk to one person and you do it 5 days a week, guess what? You impacted 5 people that week. Now you do it 4 weeks in a row, guess what? That's 20 people. Now we have at least a couple of hundred people here today. If every single person would do that, you do the math, how many people you just changed and impacted? Exactly, right? 400, right? Guess what? This is what we can do. We can really make that change. So we have to make sure that we're proactive during the week and in making a change to impact our communities. The HugsOverMasks.ca is the main initiative that started here in the middle of May, right? And the whole idea was to make sure that we oppose all the measures that the government is creating. The mask is just a symbol. It was never just about a mask, okay? The mask is a symbol that encompasses all the measures, the social distancing, the contact tracing, the mandatory vaccination. The mask is a symbol that impacts that all, and that's very visual, and that's why we used it in this. But hugs are first. And that's what it represents: humanity, people coming together, people embracing each other, and defending our way of life. That's what I want you to understand. This is why we created this movement to begin with. And yes, we are working everyone together with making sure that we can cover as much ground as possible, right? That's why all the initiatives are important, because people can relate to different things, and they can be part of all the different organizations at the same time. If you want to just belong to one, that's fantastic. So use whatever angle you can when you're talking to people. You know you people, right? If you know they're very active and they want to hold the sign and they want to do the actual stuff, the Lion movement is phenomenal for that, and it's represented all across the country. The Hugs of a Mask Nation is geared a lot towards the moms and the people that necessarily professionals and necessarily maybe afraid to be photographed and then to the workplace featured and stuff like that. So there's different angles you can use. So just I'm empowering you to think about your audience. It's important to know who you're talking to, right? And the idea again is we'll have to build this movement. I don't want to be right about this. However, I won't be surprised if the curfews that we're implementing in Australia will be coming to Ontario in a couple of weeks, if not sooner. I won't be surprised, and trust me, I don't want to be right about it. And we have to be extremely vigilant about that. And that's what I'm saying on our Zoom calls all the time. We have no time, and we have to be extremely proactive with the actions that we're taking. We have to build these movements. We have to connect with as many people as possible, because when the curfew comes, guess what? We're not going to have an opportunity to come together. So it's imperative for us to talk to people. I know it's summer. I know people want to have a good time. Guess what? It's not the time for that, unfortunately, right? This is a good time right here. Thank you. This is the important occasion for everyone to come together. And if you go, thank you. And if you go on Hugs of the Mask event site, you will see 8 locations across the country. We have BC in Surrey, today obviously Toronto here, and we have Kitchener, Hamilton, London, Owen Sound, Ottawa, and Montreal tomorrow. Okay, those are the locations, and for the next week we want to get at least to 20 locations. At least we have to do it. The thing that I want to mention, the Hugs of a Mask, the initiative, now transforming into Hugs Nation. Hugs Nation is basically going to be represented education system. It's representing youth leadership program. As you can see, we've always been encouraging the children, the young generation to come and speak, right? And I said this before, for me, the We Charity collapse and the whole disaster with that is not a coincidence. It's there for a reason. So then we can come in and fill that gap and provide the platform for the young people to make sure that they have a voice. They should be able to connect. So stay tuned for Hugs Nation. I got all the domains 2 weeks ago to make sure that we secure that and we're able to build a platform for our next generation, because I said this before, our children will have to grow up really fast in this world. They have to. They have to be the warriors along the parents side by side. Not in the background, side by side. This is just a reality of the world that we're facing, and they have to be equipped with the right information. They have to be equipped to be able to stand the ground. And the thing that we're going to be working, and I might as well announce it, we're going to iron details, whatever, but what's the first day of school? What's the date? September 8th. Guess what the schools will have to do in most provinces around Canada? Mandatory masks. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to go to schools with our children, and we're going to stand the ground. Our children not going to wear the mask. So first day of school, we're going to build in that towards that day. So people will ask me, what's a big date we can have some action happening? Guess what? First day of school is our day of action. We're going to mobilize. We'll talk about it later. Stay tuned for all the details, guys. We have a lot of stuff going on. We're doing our best to organize everything, but that's what we're going to be working towards. The emails to send information for schools, again, Chris is private schools at Proton email. hugsnation2020@gmail.com. You can send also details. We're correlating a lot of efforts to work together. Because again, if there are a lot of us, we can cover a lot of ground, and guess what? You never know what happens tomorrow. So that's why even myself, I have Colin working with me side by side to share all the information, because we have to make sure that there's not just one hat that can take off and then the whole thing collapse. This have to be smart. You have to spread the leadership. You have to spread the organizations, because then it's hard for people to take us down. And that's what we have to focus on. So I'm going to bring Lamont. Yep. Thank you. Yep. Okay, that's awesome. So, yes.
I want to say, by talking to people and inform people, the best way to spread those flyers is very helpful for people. Like I try saying, when people start here,
Can't hear you.
So the flyers, like I said, are a very helpful tool, and that's what we said from the beginning. We've been distributing this flyer since May. Okay, guys, the free exemption flyer plus the education part on the back. Okay, so what we're saying, this is the tool for us to empower people with information. And again, Dr. Tenpenny says, and I agree 100%. I've been saying this from the beginning too. The best way for you to interact with a new person is not to make a statement to them. It's ask a question. Ask a question, plant that seed of doubt. My favorite one is, do you think you can have empty hospitals in a real pandemic? Right? That's my favorite question. Now, the last thing I'm going to say, we are in Kitchener tomorrow, and the whole idea with the Kitchener event is obviously to create a chapter of HugsOverMasks with all organizations there on a regular basis. However, tomorrow is also Human Trafficking Awareness Day there too. We participated last Thursday, not last week Thursday, in 2 events, Worldwide Human Trafficking Awareness Day. There's actually some flyers still here for you to pick up and get some information about that. We participated in Barrie, and we rushed and participated in Toronto as well. I had media contacting us and saying, are you guys trying to trick the people to come to Human Trafficking Awareness Day? But it's HugsOverMasks Day actually. So the only thing I can tell you, as long as the media is talking about us, I'm going to say thank you for talking about us. I cannot tell you how many times people come to events or message us and they say, you know what, somebody talked bad about your event on their page, but that's why I came. So let them talk about us. Okay, so when I was making this interview or radio host in Kitchener, you tried to come up with me from all the angles. Are you anti-vaxxer? Are you trying to promote your business? Like, are you trying to trick the people? I told them, the whole idea about COVID, the positive thing, is that it forces people to look at the truth now. So much things are getting exposed, and that's the benefit of the COVID situation, that we are all talking about real issues. Human trafficking, vaccine injuries, right? The 5G harm, right? The COVID measures that are actually harmful to the public and designed specifically to create control. And again, if people even question before, the other question that you want to ask people and kind of plant that seed of doubt, ask them, have you heard about Australia? Do you know they only had less than 300 people dying? Less than 300 people dying and 27 million people in the lockdown? Does that make sense to you? Ask that question. Let them think about it. That's one of the best things that I can recommend. Okay guys, I'm going to bring Lamont back just to wrap it up and then do the march.